Hello everyone. Right now, somewhere in the world, a truck full of garbage is being dumped into the ocean. Not once a day, not once an hour, but every single minute. Now, here is the uncomfortable truth. Most of that trash started its journey in ordinary homes like ours, not factories, not governments, but everyday life. The coffee cup we used for 5 minutes, the plastic bag we used once, the packaging we threw away without thinking. And here is the shocking reality. The average person produces hundreds of kilograms of waste every year. That means during our lifetime, you may generate tons of trash. But here is one of the good news. What if I tell you that a few small habits could reduce your waste by 50% or more? Not by changing your entire life, but simply by becoming more intentional about your daily choices. Today, I'm going to explore something incredibly powerful, a lifestyle that is quietly transforming the way people live around the world, a lifestyle called zero waste living. What is a zero waste lifestyle? When people first hear the phrase zero waste, they often imagine something extreme. Living without trash, growing all their food, or living off the grid. But that is not what zero waste really means. Zero waste is not about producing literally zero trash, it is about reducing the amount of waste we send to landfills. And the philosophy follows a very simple framework called the 5R rule: refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, rot. Let's understand them. What is reuse? Say no to the things you do not need. Free plastic items, unnecessary packaging, or disposable products. What is reduce? Buy less, consume less. Not because you must sacrifice, but because many things we buy do not actually improve our life. What is reuse? Instead of throwing things away, use them again. Reusable bottles, containers, cloth bags. What is recycle? If something cannot be reused, recycle it responsibly. What is rot? Organic waste like food scraps can be composed, turning waste into soil instead of landfill. And here is the most important idea: zero waste is not about perfection, it is about progress. Why the world is talking about waste? So, why is the whole world suddenly talking about the waste? Because we are facing a global waste crisis. Plastic pollution is everywhere. Scientists have discovered plastic particles in oceans, rivers, and even human bodies. Fast fashion is another problem. Clothes are being produced faster than ever before. Many garments are worn only a few times before being thrown away. Then there is food waste. Millions of tons of food are discarded every year, while at the same time millions of people still struggle with hunger. Our modern lifestyle has created a system where convenience often creates waste, but something incredible is happening. Across the world, people are waking up. Young generations, entrepreneurs, scientists, and everyday families are beginning to rethink how we live, and that shift is creating a powerful movement, the movement towards sustainable living. Benefits of an eco-friendly lifestyle. Many people assume that living sustainably means sacrifice, but in reality, the opposite is often true. An eco-friendly lifestyle can improve your life in many ways. First, it provides financial benefits. When you reduce unnecessary purchases, you naturally save money. Repairing instead of replacing. Cooking at home instead of buying packaged meals, using reusable products. All of these reduces spending. Second is less clutter. When you buy less and choose better products, your home becomes simpler and more organized. Third, health benefits. Reducing plastic usage often means eating fresher food and avoiding harmful chemicals. But there is also something deeper, a psychological benefit. Living sustainably creates a sense that your actions matter, that you are contributing to something bigger than yourself, and that feeling is incredibly powerful. Easy zero waste habits anyone can start. Now let's talk about something practical because many people believe sustainable living is difficult. But in reality, some of the most powerful changes are incredibly simple. For example, carry a reusable water bottle. This alone can eliminate hundreds of plastic bottles each year. Use cloth shopping bags instead of plastic bags. Avoid single use plastics like disposable cutlery or straws. Choose durable products instead of cheap disposable ones. And perhaps the most powerful habit is repair instead of replacing. In previous generations, people repaired shoes, appliances, and clothing. Today, we are encouraged to throw things away and buy new ones. But repairing not only saves money, it also dramatically reduces the waste. Small actions repeated every day create extraordinary long term impact. The hidden waste in the modern life. One of the biggest problems with waste is that much of it is invisible. For example, online shopping. When you order one product, it often arrives with multiple layers of packaging. Plastic wrap, cardboard boxes, bubble wrap. Another example is disposable coffee cups. Many people assume they are recyclable, but most of them contain plastic lining, making recycling difficult. Fast fashion is another hidden contributor. Clothing production has increased dramatically in the last 2 decades, but many garments are worn only a few times and then they are being thrown away. Here is the shocking part. Sometimes we use for just minutes can take hundreds of years to decompose. That is the true cost of convenience. Minimalism and sustainable living. There is another concept closely connected to zero waste living, and that concept is minimalism. Minimalism is not about living with nothing, it is about living with intention. Instead of asking, what else can I buy? Minimalism asks, what truly adds value to my life? When we buy less but choose higher quality products, several things happens. Our homes become less cluttered, our spending becomes more intentional, and our environmental impact decreases. Minimalism teaches a powerful lesson. Happiness does not come from more possessions, it often comes from greater clarity and purpose. Controversy. Do individual actions really matter? Now let's talk about one of the biggest debates in environmental discussions. Some critics say individual actions do not matter. They argue that large corporations and industries produce most of the pollution and they are partially right. Many industries do have enormous environmental impact, but here is other side of the story. Corporations respond to consumer demands. When people demand sustainable products, markets change. We have already seen this happening. Companies are investing in biodegradable packaging, reusable products, sustainable materials. And why? Because consumers are asking for it. So the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Government policies matter, corporate responsibility matters, but individual choices also matter. Change often begins at the level of everyday decisions. Second controversy, is zero waste only for rich people? Another criticism people raise is this: eco friendly living is expensive. At first glance, it can appear that way. Some sustainable products do cost more initially, but here is a surprising reality. Many zero waste habits are actually cheaper. Cooking meals at home, buying second-hand products, repairing items instead of replacing them, using reusable products instead of disposable ones. All of these can reduce spending dramatically. In fact, sustainability often means something very simple: consuming less, and consuming less usually means saving more. So, zero waste living is not about being wealthy, it is about being thoughtful. The future of sustainable living. Despite the environmental challenges we face, there is also the reason for optimism. Innovation is accelerating. Scientists are developing biodegradable materials that break down naturally. Businesses are exploring circular economies where products are reused instead of discarded. Renewable energy is expanding rapidly. And perhaps most importantly, younger generations are becoming more environmentally aware. Many students, entrepreneurs, and creators are dedicating their careers to sustainability. This shift is not just a trend, it is becoming a global transformation. And the choices we make today will shape the future for decades to come. As we come to the end of this discussion, I want to leave you with one powerful idea. Zero waste living is not about being perfect, it is about being intentional. You do not need to change everything overnight. You do not need to eliminate every piece of waste. What matters is starting somewhere. Maybe you begin with a reusable water bottle. Maybe you stop using plastic bags. Maybe you repair something instead of replacing it. Small steps matter because every global movement begins with individuals who decide to act. So today, I want to ask you one simple question: what one small habit can you change starting today? Because sustainability does not begin with governments, it does not begin with corporations, it begins with the people like you and me. Always remember, one choice, one habit, one decision at a time, and together those choices can shape a better future for our planet. Thank you. Have a nice day.